The Revolution DLC sees the introduction of the first snow level in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. The Alpine setting isn't just for decoration though, it'll affect how dangerous both you and your enemies are in a firefight. We talked to Treyarch's Dan Bunting and David Vonderhaar to find out more about the map.
One of our level designers grew up in Colorado, and he used to work at the ski lifts, and he was like, man, I want to make a map in the ski lifts. So, he went off and did that, and it was, of course, from the get-go, we were like, well, if you're going to be in a ski lift, you've got to have moving gondolas. So we had the gondolas cutting through the middle of the map where you can use them as dynamic cover. So the cover is constantly kind of changing in that room. You have to really time your movements through there carefully.
So I've seen some players actually put some C4 on the gondola and then have it kind of go through the map and then they pull the trigger. I've seen guys bounce grenades off the gondola to drop on the B flag. So it's just a little bit of variety to kind of mix things up a little bit. And if you actually get in front of the gondola, it'll kind of run you over and take you out. So it's really interesting firefight through the building where the ski lifts, the gondolas are, because they're not always in the same position because they're always moving through.
And again, that's an objective point in a lot of modes.
Yeah, absolutely. We like to put especially B flag domination objective points, just sort of right in the thick of the chaos, and then you really need to control the gondola building. It's like that with most Treyarch domination maps where there's usually this kind of point where your team needs to own that section of the map to really even get and control B, and it's part of the design.
So, barring looking both ways before crossing the gondola track, what can we do to get a competitive advantage?
The middle of the map is shaped around a bowl, and if you can kind of lock that down, there's 3 key overwatch positions in that spot in the map, and if you can lock down that bowl shape, then you can really clear the way for your team to come in and take an objective. Additionally, you've got to walk through the ski lodge itself with the moving gondolas, and that's kind of a dangerous place to be, but it's also there's always changing dynamic cover, so you go in there, you got to time your movements, and you can really kind of catch people off guard.
It feels like the Overwatch position opposite the gondola place is the most secure of those.
It depends, because you can really, if somebody comes up behind and you're not expecting it, then you're pretty vulnerable there.
This is a really interesting map because one of the routes on the top side of this map is a very rocky, kind of very understandable lane through. On the other side, it's actually you're going through a big open building, so it's a little different than what players might be used to. There's a big building that's on the adjacent route, not through the center, not through the left, and then the big open area in the middle. So these are all areas, because of the snow and the building and these rocks, the outlines of players are going to be really obvious to you. They're going to be silhouetted really strongly so you can see them at range. But always check the corner, right? So if you're coming up through the section with the gondola, go to the left and what we call wall hugging, so that you only have one side of your back, one side of you exposed at any point. It is a common mistake when you get in a hurry to kind of run right down through the center, and that's suicide.
So to recap, take advantage of the gondolas as moving cover but don't get flattened, check corners and wall hug in that central room, and aim to control the bowl out in front of the gondola station. Check out tips for the other maps in the Revolution DLC direct from Treyarch, take a look at the new Zombies map Die Rise and see Turned mode, which allows you to play as a zombie, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time on Outside Xbox.